to Leading the Way podcast, where you'll learn neuroscience-backed ways to lead more effectively and have more fun at work with what you already have. Hey there, it's Chris, and welcome to Leading the Way. I'm so delighted that you're here with us today. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm incredibly honored to have a brilliant guest, Candice McKim. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, it's going to be so good. So folks listening, I know how great Candice is. She knows how great she is, but you don't yet. So let me tell you a little bit about her, and then we'll jump into an awesome discussion. So Candice is a beacon of empowerment in the realm of manifestation. Hard for me to say that quickly. As an intuitive manifestation coach, #1 international best-selling author, and TEDx speaker, Candice inspires others to align with their true purpose and elevate their businesses. Her innovative manifestation magic methods guide individuals tap into their innate power and manifest extraordinary successes. Candice McKim is a trailblazer in intuitive manifestation coaching, committed to fostering profound transformation and impactful growth. Candice, again, thank you for being on with us. And I want to just jump right in. A lot of folks aren't familiar with manifestation, or they don't know the difference between that and, let's say, pretending or making things up. And it is very different. Walk us through a little bit how manifestation is different than just like pretending or hoping or dreaming things up.
Well, imagining or imagination, hoping, dreaming is part of it.
Okay.
It's a really big part of it. So that's the part of getting connected to source energy, connecting to universal energies, getting clear and getting really a lot of clarity on your vision. But what my process is about bringing those dreams, getting laser clear on it, and then bringing it down into the physical realm. And so that's the difference of just staying up in your head and dreaming and visualizing and hoping and dreaming. It's about really getting super clear on what the one dream is at a time, and then bringing it into the present world. And it gets stuck in one of the areas. It's very typical that it's getting stuck. So if you're like, I don't know why I keep dreaming about this, but it's not happening, it's getting stuck in the process of bringing it right down into the physical world.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's some specific ways or skills or approaches to make the manifestation really successful in your personal life or your business life, right?
Yes. And yeah, like I was saying, so an example of how it would get stuck. Say you're out driving in your car and you see a herd of horses, running in the field, and you go, oh, I would love to ride a horse. Like, how amazing would that be? And you go, oh, that would be, and you start dreaming about riding horses and getting a horse, and you're dreaming about it and visualizing it, seeing yourself on the back of the horse, the wind blowing, your hair back. And then all of a sudden you go, boom, and you go, oh, but horses are really expensive. And where would what would my family think about it? And where would I board this horse? And, so you're going into that area. And then you go back up and you go, oh, but having that connection, that freedom, it just feels so appealing to me. And then you start to get creative and you go, well, the guy down the road or somebody knows somebody that could board the horse for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go into fear, right? And you go, okay, those horses are big. Like they're big, right? And to get on the back of a horse. Right. And then all of a sudden you start talking about it and it starts coming out of your mouth, right? And you go, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to ride horses or learn how to ride horses. And then you start getting other people's opinion, right? Which can shut our dreams down as well. So it gets stuck in any one of those areas.
So interesting. And it's, as you're walking through that too, it was, reminded of our reticular activating system, which isn't always sharing like the greatest hits and are in our best interest. It can be, its job is to conserve energy. And so a lot of times it's like, yeah, don't do the new thing, even if that thing's serving you. But this is an interruption to that, and really keys into what people really want for joy, right? What they really want to feel abundant and enjoy. So instead of a scarcity mindset where I can't have, I'm not supposed to have, this is a very different approach. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a completely different approach. And #1 really is getting the clarity around it, is having, especially we're so busy, we're in our careers, we went to school for a long time to get our education, to take this career, and this is my focus, and this is what I'm here supposed to do. And so we put our dreams on the back burner.
Right.
And we don't really, I think that's the biggest challenge that we have, is that we don't really know what we want. And
Mm.
the fear of, yes, the fear of change and shifting and taking the risks, being visible, even, you know, I always joke that as an entrepreneur, social media is free and I get to reach all these people. And I joke that when I first started out in business, I had a yoga studio for 17 years, 20 years, and I used to have to do the little pieces of paper and with the little tabs on the bottom with my phone number and put it in
Oh
the
yeah.
grocery store, you know?
Yeah.
And so now, right, as we're building businesses, we're afraid of showing up. But here we have a platform that's free that we can connect to hundreds, thousands of people every week. But there's that fear. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's you know, talk about typical corporations. They don't talk about manifestation as
Mm.
a practice or a way to get results. It's hustle and grind. It's let's look at data, let's look at things in the past. Let's be really risk adverse, and make that the number one way how we prioritize projects.
Mhm.
This offers a different look. And you said so well, like the dreams, but corporations have dreams too, right? And
Yeah.
aspirations of who they want to be and how they want to serve. Is there a
Yes.
play for this, you think, in the corporate space and folks manifesting there?
100%. Because when we're in that place of hustle and grind and, got to get the hours in and just, doing, we move away from our creativity. We move away from our ideas and inspiration and intuition and all of those ideas coming to us. And so if we can take that step back, take that shift back, and allow ourselves to visualize. And what I find too is that most people know that they're here for something more, and they want to
Mm,
be, even in corporate, they want to be the leader that they're here to be. They want to show up in the way they want to show, like they in their true, authentic way, and not be faking it, not be in that way of hiding, but to really show up in that way. And so I feel like, yeah, tapping into visualizing what they have, their role in corporate, and seeing how they are. So I talk about visualizing and visioning as something different.
okay.
So visualizing is seeing yourself making this amount of money, doing this, in your career that way. And then visioning is that feeling that you're here for something more. You're
Mm,
here for greatness. You're here to really show up and shine and to make a difference in people's lives.
right, right. And so I don't want to beat up on the activity of planning. It has its place, but it
Mhm.
sounds like this is an augment. I'll let you pick the right words because you're the expert, but how is this different and then developing, let's say, a 6 month or a 3 year plan, which can be a very analytical type exercise? Is manifestation a different approach than that?
Yeah, so this is something that I used to see. I used to think, oh, we're going to be left behind if we're not planning. And it was something
Hmm.
that kind of annoyed me, like, right, with my husband, is I wanted to have, this 5-year plan. And that's what I thought how to get success would look like.
Right.
But the thing is that we make a plan and then things would shift and life would happen and it didn't go as planned. And when we're so focused on our plan, we're not open to the opportunities that are
Mm,
available to us. And sometimes those opportunities will take us further or bring us even more of what we want,
hmm.
more than what if we had stayed stuck to the plan. I always think
Mm,
of Oprah. There's no way she planned her career, right?
right.
As a little girl, she just knew she was here for something more and
Right.
just kept putting out that to the universe or to source energy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, and I love how you said being open to it, because I could imagine some people manifesting when they're just beginners would say, I want $100,000 or whatever the thing is and get really specific. But it sounds like, and I'll ask you, is it manifesting specific, or is it more an energy of, I'm here for abundance. I'm here for great opportunities. Bring me the great opportunities. Does it matter how you focus on what you manifest on?
I think it's both. That's why
Okay.
I'm saying the visualizing and the visioning. I think it's both,
Ah, okay.
right? So let's do a vision board. Let's put some energy into what it is specifically we want. You can put in the car and the house and the bank account and the whatever it is that you really want to manifest. And
Mm.
then it's that other part of knowing that I'm here for something more and living your
Ah,
purpose and stepping more into that and opening up that way and hopefully bringing the two together, right? So that, okay, my living my purpose is going to bring me the other stuff as well.
got it. I would imagine too, some people are like, well, I don't know what my purpose is, right? Or they don't know how to trust their instincts or their gut. Are there ways to get there? Does everyone really have that inside of them? They just know how to get to it, or do some people actually not have it?
I think it's developed, same as
Okay.
all of our senses, taste,
Yeah.
touch, sight, sound, smell. It's just another one of our senses. And so it can get more developed as we move along.
Okay.
And so I feel like as we develop it, as we play with it, as we have fun with our intuition. And we all have those moments of, oh, I knew that was going to happen, right? Like, I knew that was going to happen. And
Mm.
so that's your intuition. When you know something was going to happen and then it did happen, that's your intuition. That's telling you that you knew that. And so to trust that and to listen to and that takes practice. And sometimes that's why my book is called Intuition is a Choice, because sometimes you'll follow your intuition and sometimes you won't.
Right.
But and I don't believe we're ever off our path, and we get guided back towards our purpose, and that we're constantly being guided towards the purpose. And so whatever job you're in, like my background is I worked as a social worker. And so there was no mistake me going into that career, getting that degree, going into the career, and then shifting it, right? So what I did is I spent decades combining talk therapy as social work with
Mm.
body, mind, spirit of having a yoga studio. But
Yeah.
it didn't, there was no mistake. So I don't believe, if you're in your career and you're hating it or it feels like it's soul sucking, there's no mistake that you're there and that is still part of your purpose. And you can bring all of the skills you learned into whatever you do next.
Oh, I love that. I love that because it can be easy for people, me for sure, to get caught in it's not working out right now, so therefore I'm a failure and it's not working versus, there's something to be learned from this, or I can leverage this later, or I might be helping someone I'm not even aware of in
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Candice, I'm curious, are there any, I know you have lots of stories of folks that you've helped and served. Are there any just amazing breakthroughs that maybe even went beyond what you expected as you coach people through this work?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this process works so well that I'm always blown away. Like
Yeah.
every time. So one of the times I was working with this woman in corporate, and she worked in the oil and gas industry, and she wanted to do sound therapy, do sound healing. And so she had taken some training, and like had gone and had it done, and she's like, this is the only thing that helped her relax after her work. And so she wanted to share it with other people. And so within a couple months of doing it, she came across somebody doing sound therapy. So she went and took the training. And
Mm.
then before we even finished the 4-month program, she had reached out and she ended up building a dome on her property and did sound therapy she lived on an acreage.
Wow.
And for probably 10 years, like she did this about 10 years ago. And since then, she's brought in her corporate management skills into running a really successful sound therapy dome business.
Wow.
Like, like no, like a lot of us, a lot of maybe holistic businesses don't seem to do that well.
Right.
No, she rocked it. Like
Wow.
yeah, did amazing.
Wow. So powerful.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I would imagine too, as folks are doing this, there's like layers that start getting revealed and unlocked. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's where you're slowing yourself down, where you're holding yourself back, where fear is getting in the way of preventing you to move forward. Like even my own story. I was, it was when I was very first teaching this process. And I put on my vision board. I wanted to be global
Mm,
and I wanted to keep collaborating with the company I was working with. And I put on there a picture of India. And so that was, I started in November. By January, I was invited to do a global Save a challenge with the company that had been collaborating with. So I raised $20,000 for victims of sex trafficking. It
mm.
was part of the global part of it. They call it a global Save a challenge. And then I went, as a result, I raised the $20,000. I went with the group. We collectively raised over $1 million. And then I
Wow.
went to India and
Wow.
got to see India. And then through that, I got the intuitive hit to sell my yoga studio. And then I wrote my book and did a TEDx talk and have now been speaking around the world. So within months, it went global. And then, and you don't even know that it's happening. It's just different opportunities. And you're saying yes to the different opportunities. And you only realize it. And when you look back and you go,
Mm,
wow, I totally manifested this quickly.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was going to ask, for those of us that have to-do lists and task lists and are doers and action takers, um, do we give that up? Does that shift somehow? If say I want to manifest, we'll just make something up, at $10,000 in the next month from some place I don't not expecting it. Do I shift my actions over the next month to help create that, or just leave them as is?
It's both again. Like
Okay.
it's this and, right? So
Okay.
in my language, it's the masculine and the feminine energy,
Okay.
right? So I typically work in the feminine energy and the flow and the intuition and the opportunities and all of that. But
Yeah.
then there's the masculine energy, right? Of getting stuff done. We need to take inspired action. We need to move forward with it. And so, no, I have my day timer beside me on my desk. And especially because then when I sit down, I know what to do and I don't waste time. I can get it done quickly and efficiently.
Mm,
And so it's that combination. My motto is if it isn't fun, don't do it.
yeah.
And so I make it fun for me. So I have the nice day timer and I write it down and I get to check mark it off because then you get that dopamine hit every time cross something off your list. So
Absolutely.
it's the both.
Got it. Got it. Okay, I'm beginning to track here. So for companies or businesses doing this, um, is this something teams do as a collective? Is it just something the leader does? I mean, how does it work with like a more than one person
It
manifesting?
I believe it's the collective that we come together. Okay, what's our vision?
Mm,
And, you know, asking our why, like how is what we're offering going to serve other people? How are they, that's the sales part, right? But,
sure.
but really getting into the why, like why, so this is the vision. And why is this our vision? How is that helping other people? How is that supporting and serving our customers and our clients?
That's beautiful because I think a lot of folks think of the vision and mission as just this thing that some executives go off and, design and marketing maybe put some words on and it's on logos and it looks pretty. But if it's truly a something that's connected to something you want to create and manifest, that's a very different thing because then everyone's going to want to create it in their actions, right? Just like you were talking about, you've got that day timer and you've got this guidance of your, hey, this is what you want to manifest, Chris and Candace. So you're putting
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And the engagement, I would imagine, be higher too, versus some sort of top down, this is our mission. We're going to help and save the world. And folks
Oh,
aren't brought into that.
yeah,
It probably has a
100%.
negative effect, right? It's probably the exact opposite of what the leaders really want. Instead of empowering them, you're kind of squashing
Mhm.
the brilliance a little bit.
Yeah, and it's going to bring everybody together. Plus, it's going to give more energy, right? And if,
Right.
because we know that we need to align our vibration, our energy with what it is that we want, right?
Right.
And so when we have a collective, you have a group of 10, 15 people that all have the same vision and we're all aligning our energy to it, it's going to come even quicker.
Right. Right. So for those that aren't familiar with manifesting, does it have a source in a culture or religion historically, or has this just been something that's around as long as we know time? any group or religion or belief system or culture that's had this?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
No, it's just it's the
Just is.
laws, like it's the human law, like the laws of attraction, right? And
Right.
it's just is. So we're always attracting, we're always manifesting, good, bad,
Mm,
ugly. So whatever
mm.
you're whatever you're putting your energy to, whatever you're aligning your energy to, you're manifesting. And it's just is. And so if you aren't in a position that brings you joy and happiness, then that's where you need to shift what you're manifesting, because you're manifesting anyway. All of us are manifesting all the time.
Right.
What the lives that we have, we manifested them to be this way. And it's about taking full responsibility for our lives, taking that full responsibility. This is the life I created.
Mm. I,
And
I love
so,
that. That's so powerful. And if we're manifesting negative stuff, like we're manifesting I suck and I'll never get ahead, it sounds like we'll create that too, right? It's
mhm.
sadly whatever we want to believe we're manifesting, we're pulling that down. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I hate my job and I'm going to my job every day, or when I worked as a social worker, I got completely burnt out. I wanted to help. I wanted to help people more than they wanted help, right?
Mm.
And so I got completely burnt out. I was crying all the time,
Mm.
and it's just I couldn't do it in that energy, right? And so how do we shift it? So it wasn't a happy place for me to be, but it is what I manifested, because I was taking that situation and making it. I wanted to do more and make a bigger impact, and I wasn't able to do it in that position.
Right. It sounds like eventually, obviously, you got to a space where you're doing something similar to that work and having the
Mhm.
impact you want and living in joy and abundance and flow and all that good stuff too. So you're your own
Yes,
success story. Yeah.
yes, yes, exactly.
I love that. I love that. Um, you mentioned fear as one of the big blockers. I'm curious too, like some folks have a certain upbringing that they're supposed to be modest and not wish for big things, and that's just it can be in part of the culture that they grow up with or their family of origin. It's a common one that you shouldn't wish big or dream big.
Yeah,
Is that also a fear blocker, or is that just noise? I don't even know what to label that.
I think it can be fear. Like I think
Yeah.
it can be fear, right? Because it's our desires, right? And when we talk about desire, we think that's shameful. A lot of
Mm,
times, different dogma will tell you that it's shameful to have desires.
right.
And yeah, you would need to do some work through that. Like, oh no, I deserve this. I am open to receiving. And I think the other thing is too, is that we've been taught that for us to succeed and to have abundance, we're taking away from somebody else.
Mm,
And the thing is, we're not. There's always enough. There's always enough in the universe. And so for us to ask for what we want isn't taking away from anybody else.
interesting. So you
And I
can
think
let go of
that's
that
huge.
guilt. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very powerful.
Yeah.
So Candace, tell me a little bit more. You have these manifestation magic methods, tongue twister, but a great one.
Yeah.
Um, what's it look like when folks engage with you, or what's, super high level, what's that program look like?
So it's a 4-month program, and I believe 100% that you can be in the manifestation process within 4 months. And
Wow.
it's working through, there's 8 pillars to it, and with each pillar will help you to get clarity, clear out anything that is keeping you stuck from manifesting what it is that you want and bringing it into the present reality. And so the process, plus it's the curriculum, it's self-study part of it, plus the group coaching, once a week group coaching, and then some one-on-one sessions with me. It's a real hybrid program, so that you
Nice.
get one sessions with me, and I always start with a deep dive to get so that you are really clear on what it is that you want and what you're wanting to attract, and then we take you through the process.
I love it. I love it. It almost sounds like athlete conditioning, right? You talked about it's a skill or a muscle or something to build up. Is that part of
Yeah.
it? Is just getting mastery and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, and you can tell, like you're like, oh, things aren't going well for me. Okay, where is it getting stuck? And so going through this process over and over again. And so yeah, I take you go through the 4 months with me, and then you learn how to do it. And then you can realize that, oh, it's getting stuck in this place, or it's getting stuck in that place. A lot of times people know where it's getting stuck.
Right. Right. And I'm sure your expertise can help them when they're stuck and I don't know what to do, which I'm sure comes up for folks, or they would have already manifested it, right? It would have already happened.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love it. I love it. Well, how do folks engage with you, right? We'll certainly have links in the show notes, but I always like folks to share, like, what's the best way for someone to reach out? Like, Candace, I'm dying to do this. I want to work with you. I want horses, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah. So email me at info@CandiceMcKim.com. It's CANDACEMCKIM.com. And if you don't hear back from me, you can connect with me on social media. Also, my website is CandiceMcKim.com. And there's a way of connecting with me in there as well. And that will for sure come into my inbox, because I don't know what happens with emails. They get lost. But then also on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, that people can connect with me there as well.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll have that in the show notes. So if you're on a jog or a commute, please don't hurt yourself. Those will be there for you right after this to check out. And I highly recommend you do that. I've been fortunate enough to be in different realms with Candace. We've been in some different programs together, and I've seen her work, and I know her heart and diligence in this space. She really cares deeply about her clients. So Candace, thanks so much for being on Leading the Way. Before we close out, I always love to ask my awesome guests, what's something you're thankful or grateful for today?
Oh my gosh, so much. I'm thankful for the place we live in. I manifested our dream home last year, and it's out in the woods. And I am so grateful that my body is so strong that I can go on hour-long walks every morning and just feel amazing in body, mind, spirit.
That's beautiful. Thanks so much, Candace. And awesome listeners, thank you for being here. Please do the magical things for the algorithm. But more importantly, if you have a friend that you know this message would really land with, share it with them. It'll mean an awful lot to them. It's a great way and a really easy way to show that you love and care for them. So be sure to do that and keep leading the way.
Thank you for listening to Leading the Way podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss other great episodes like this one. And if you're ready for more in your workplace, be sure to go to aintent.com. You'll find lots of free tools, assessments, and ways to engage directly with us to get your own epic results. We'll see you there.